Alright, what is up guys, it's the Archangel here. Now we're doing a little bit of an unboxing. Let me just adjust the camera. You can probably wonder why there's a xenomorph in the background, because we're going to be using that as a comparison. This is the albino version, but it is, you know, the standard Neca xenomorph alien sculpt. The only real difference is the inner jaw is replaced with this obscene thing, but we are going to need this. And my hair is really in my face today. It may look yellow, but it's not. It is white. And you probably, I mean, you've not seen it, but we've got Freddy Krueger here. As I'm pretty sure what I've picked up, he uses exactly the same lower body, like the legs and basically the pants and trousers and all that. So we've got two figures, well, three actually. And we've got Bishop here. Picked him up on discount for about $14.99. Pretty good. And I also picked up this, which this was pretty cheap actually, expecting it to be a lot more. This was about $35.99. This was quite a surprise at the price it was, because usually you think two packs like this go for 50 to 60, which was quite nice that this thing was, you know, so low price as it was. It's because you're paying the price for one thing and getting two. So we're going to start with Bishop. Now if you are using knives, be very careful, obviously, if you're younger, because we'll get a parent to do it. But then again, I wouldn't really recommend that kids have these figures, because they're not really for children at all. I mean, that's my opinion. And kids shouldn't really be watching Aliens anyway, because it's like an adult film. It's violence and all, and I don't believe kids should be getting involved with violence. So we're going to take Burke out the pack, Bishop out the box here. See what we get. Yeah, that smells just as good as ever, and he seems smaller than I thought he would be. Strange. He feels a lot smaller taking him out the package. This is Bishop right here. As you can see, the sculpt, I feel, is dead on like Henriksen. Really good sculpt there. Let's see if we can get some of these accessories out. A knife that's attached onto the tape. I think that's the same knife that comes with Vasquez. I'm not really sure. God, this hand is really wedging there tight. There's not my middle finger being a bit sore. And then you get his canister lamp as well. So that's the accessories you get with Bishop. You get an alternate hand, right hand. You get a knife, which the alternate right hand is for, and you get the canister lamp. Obviously, you get two twisty ties, but they're not accessories. They're just how the figure's packaged. I don't usually do unboxings like this, but I thought I'd do it something special, because this Burke pack's really a nice set. And Bishop just came on the ride as well. Come on. Right. So let's see, this is Bishop here. Oh god, he feels very stiff. Alright. Seems the ball peg on the wrist. Oh, his hand, don't worry about that, it's just his hand popping off the peg. This guy's going to need a loosen up treatment. He's very tight. Just trying to flex some of this articulation to kind of get it working. Well, this elbow is a lot easier to move. It bends a full 90. The other one bends a bit over 40, a little bit over 45, which is weird. Does this one come out easily? Yeah, this one comes out pretty easily. Let's see, come on. The joints are very stiff on Bishop. I know he's an old... Oh, that's interesting. His arms appear to go outward at an angle, and that's due to his very swept down shoulders, so that's pretty interesting. Didn't see that coming. His head doesn't seem to... Oh, there we go. I think just a bit of the paint kind of gunked it up. I'm not sure if some of the paint had stuck it, but it moves nicer now. It goes down pretty far. That's pretty good. It's very stiff rotation. I'm going to have to play with that a bit. Does pivot. I love the paint on his face. I think this is real dead on. My camera doesn't seem to want to focus even though I'm using an iPhone 7. Oh god, my hand's sore. My hands are right sore after you know, after handling him, because he's so stiff. He does have a mid-torso joint, I believe. it is somewhat present because the suit kind of twists, and I'm probably not going to mess with it too much because I don't want to bust anything on the inside. Legs. That's a weird crotch piece. That's a bit bizarre. It appears as if it has a lip there that this is supposed to tab onto, but for some reason it just slides over. That's very bizarre. I may have to do something about that. Interesting, I suppose. Does upper thigh swivel work? Oh, that's a one joint that actually moves freely in this guy, the upper thigh. Oh, it's not broken, just wasn't attached. I could probably get that back in there with some heat. Oh, this one don't want to move. This one's probably not gonna. Oh, there we go. Again, paint seizing up. So, out of the box, his leg wasn't assembled properly. That's interesting. Bishop, pal, you've lost your leg. My legs hurt. Hashtag Alien 3 all over again. So that was pretty interesting. His leg wasn't assembled properly. Nothing a bit of boiling water won't fix, as it makes it very nice. So knees all work fine. Oh, the feet work nicely, actually. I was going to say that thigh swivel was working a bit oddly well. And then, of course, and his feet do not want to move very much, do they? All they seem to want to do really is just rotate. Maybe this one might have a bit of better luck. Nope, same. It's a ball peg, but it's a very restricted ball peg. Come on. There we go. Really don't want to break this. Ooh, that was lucky. Knee bend, very stiff on this guy. This guy's got some nice... Oh, Christ, no wonder why. I don't know if you can see in there, but you probably can't, but I mean, I can see it. There's a lot of paint dumped up in there. So, we have a bishop that has a detached leg. I'm not going to try and force it and then bust anything. I'm going to have to heat that up really nicely and then peg it in. How well does he hold his accessories? I suppose it's a main question. He holds his canister lamp pretty well. And the alternate hand has the knife. Don't worry, he is not broken. I cannot emphasize that enough. He is not broken. It's just a misassembly where the leg wasn't fully pegged in. Come on. This hand doesn't seem to want to... Don't seem to want to go in. Right, well, it won't go in fully, so there's a bit of a gap, so I'm just going to have to leave that there until I heat it up. He does, however, hold the knife very nicely, as you can see. Again, I will sort all this out for his review. He does hold his knife pretty well. So that's Bishop. Good figure. Really good figure. Looks good. Obviously, mine did come with a bit of a mishap in assembly. That's nothing I can't fix. It's pretty easy. Just some hot water will do it. Or hairdryer or whatever you want to use. Something with heat, because it's a material that it flexes. It's PVC, so... Now, the real thing I'm expecting good quality on is the Burke set. Now, we've not taken too much look at this. Sorry, my hair's in the way. As you can see, xenomorph warrior here. Carter J. Burke. I think that's pretty nice that he got his full name on. Concept alien figure. It should have been really here, I feel, in front of this guy, because a lot of people are going to get confused thinking this is the this is how it looked in the movie when really they didn't. Other side shows Burke. The other back reads up: the sole survivor of the Nostromo, Ripley is discovered in cryogenic sleep 57 years later by a salvage ship. When she is taken back to Earth, Ripley learns that the company, and it is in literally quotations, company, I like that, has established human colonists on the same planet where the alien attack originated. After all contact with the colony is lost, Ripley agrees to return to the planet accompanied by a team of colonial marines. Together they rescue any survivors that remain and confront the alien menace head on. Additional figures used all separately, and even there's a queen in there, which is pretty cool. So this is really wet. Why are my hands so wet? So we're going to cut this open too. I'm gonna try, and this does come with the plastic base, the plastic sign for Hadley's Hope. So I'm gonna try not to damage that. Because I don't want to damage this too much. I mean, I'm gonna throw the clamshell away, but I want to keep the backing paper. Might prove useful. dangerous, that. Christ. This is going to take a while. This is not going to be easy. This is not good. This is a pain in the ass. So I won't be needing this anymore, hopefully. And another thing I just want to say as well, before we get on to the actual meat and potatoes of the box, look at this. Look at this backing paper. It's pretty neat, right? Never known them take that much care into their figures before. Now, obviously, we're going to disassemble this. We're going to look at the sign first before the figures. The sign doesn't really smell that much. Oh, it's attached in by the twisty tie. That's pretty interesting. So it's gonna be a set to get this out. I might have to use some clippers there. These might do it. There we go. Don't want to break anything. So this is kind of nice. Oh, bit of twisty tie stuck in it. Very small. Don't know if this was this big in the movie. It just stands right there, as you can see, on these kind of strut things on the side, and it looks really good. And this is a soft rubber, as you can see. It's a soft PVC, so it's bending really well. And it's a separate piece tabbed in. Most of it's hard plastic, but these little sheet metal parts are PVC, which is real good. So this thing's quite durable, and this one's pretty firm as well. So if any of these pop out, you can't just glue them back in, as they do have little glue seams. But the details there, as you can see, is pretty good, and they didn't miss out on the back. So that's pretty good. We'll just pop that there. And now that the meat and potatoes of this Burke and the alien. Oh, get all that smell. I think we'll start with the alien first. Yeah, because there's not as much new with that. It's basically a somewhat moderate retool of the already released xenomorph warrior that we've already come to expect. I mean, why is this thing slippery? God. Actually, I'm just going to cut these. Save me on twisting them. Oh, there's one there. That's interesting. God, they're very thorough in packing this thing, weren't they? There we go. So here's a new alien. Ooh, this is a gorgeous piece. Does the back piece still come out? It should do. It's just very tight at the moment. The head moves nicely. I just want to say the paint is majorly improved. You got the tendons on the side of the mouth painted grey. There were condoms in the movie. These are a nice, much softer material, so they're not going to break as easily. He is heavily retooled, so I'm just going to flex all the articulation and see how it works. Right, and the arms was a little stiff at first. Once it's loosened, it works really well. That is a beautiful arm joint there. Both the arms work really nicely. One of the elbow joints, because this guy does have double hinges on the elbows. One of the elbow joints works pretty nicely. The elbow swivel works pretty nice as well. I'm still trying to get that over elbow joint to move. I don't want to. Oh, there we go. Yep. Just kind of gingerly easing it. A bit risky, I know, with these guys, but works quite nicely. Hand, fingers move. The fingers are a little squished. I'm gonna have to. As you can see, the fingers are very squished there. They'll go. See, as you can see, they're kind of crossed over. So I'm gonna have to sort that out. The hinge on those though does work, and that's one of the retooled parts I'll discuss in a minute. That elbow, yeah. So there's quite a lot of differences, mainly limb differences. we go. That moves nicely. Hand is a bit stiff. That's why there's a lot of excess plastic in there. That's not really good. Oh crud, there is a lot of excess. I'm gonna have to slice some of that away. There's a lot of excess buildup in his hand there. You probably can't see it, but that is not good. That's kind of like the Alien 3 Ripley situation all over again. So just, it's probably the only mod I'm ever gonna do to these. Just slice away excess material. Probably just a little accent in the molding. It's nothing that really concerns me because it's something I can fix if I can get to it. But I do see that there's a QC issue. So I am going to be a bit critical in that in my review to come of that. Let's see, there's a wrist hinge now. Yeah, that hinge is perfectly fine now, as you can see. The fingers also bend really nicely. Mid-torso joint. Ooh, that crunches forward a little bit easier than it did. Still the same minimal degree motion, but that works a lot better than it did previously. Don't worry, there was no crack in there. I've not tested the jaw. The jaw comes out. Don't really have any tweezers, so I'm just going to gently use my pliers. They're a bit gunked up anyway, so it won't damage the material. Yes, the tongue comes out. Trademark of any xenomorph. The only real creature that xenomorph type creature don't do that is a neomorph, and that kind of makes sense because the neomorph is it just would be very difficult to achieve in plastic. This does come out. If you heard that snap, it does come out. It's meant to, for because you pull that out, and then you can arch the head back a little bit more, and that goes a lot more than the standard xenomorphs do, the older ones that I have. Head turns nicely. If a little bit under pressure from the plastic, because the material is quite firm. I don't want to go in all the way fully. It does stick out a little bit, so we're gonna. It holds in good enough, but I'm gonna try and force it in with some heat at some point. Now the legs, and this is where the creature is quite heavily retooled. This creature, I thought I'd call it that before. The leg swivel works just fine. Forward and back works fine, and this leg out to the side. Double hinge knee. That actually looks really good. I do prefer the original double jointed knee, but this kind of works. Rotates there also. I'll discuss that point in a minute. The ball joint in the foot works quite. Ooh, that's quite nice actually. That's not too bad. And toe hinge is a little bit modified as well. I didn't expect the toe hinge to be modified. That's interesting. They've modified the toe hinge as well. That's quite surprising. And the weakest point of it, I'll discuss that in a minute. Just flexing the joints. You can probably see me in the corner of the camera. Come on. There we go. There we go. Got that knee. Got the knees to bend all the way. Just gingerly moving it. Okay, so the tail feels a little nicer to bend, but it's got a few differences. So for differences, it's not really much different than the upper. The body is completely the same. It's the limbs that are different, which makes it interesting. So we're going to put the original one here. I'm going to take our concept one. And our concept one has bicep swivels and swivels at the elbow, whereas this one loses the bicep swivel, but just has the swivel at the elbow, which I think kind of makes more sense because there was too many swivels. Also, the original one just had a double hinge at a knee, and the toe hinge is placed right here behind this toe. So keep in mind that. So double hinge knee doesn't do anything but hinge, and this one hinges behind these toes. And the tail is just a bendy wire. So we'll put him to the side now, we don't need him. Whereas this one actually goes a little bit more advanced. Also, the concept alien does not have the albino alien doesn't have finger articulation, but this one does, so you can open the fingers and all that. This one actually has a double hinge and a knee, but if I show you, you can see it's pretty smooth because it also rotates on that joint, and the toes actually bend that way, leaving this little toe here stiff, staction. Also, the tail is a bendy wire, but it also has a swivel above it, which I think I've seen in one video. One guy's actually popped off or broke off, can't tell. That's a question of fragility, because obviously the tail was pretty strong to begin with. Overall, as an alien, this is really good. This is probably the best one to date, actually, that I own. This is probably the best xenomorph figure that I own. It actually beats the Isolation alien, which is a custom figure, believe it or not, that I modified. I bought it and modified it, and this one actually beats it, which is pretty surprising. The paint's so much better, the quality of the material's so much better, and the joints are not stuck either, so that's pretty good. So we're going to pop him to the side. You don't want to stand. We'll move the Hadley's upside, because now we're going to get into Burke. And Burke is, I'm quite excited to unbox Burke, because, I mean, it's KJ Burke, he's a sociopath in Aliens. Although I quite like him still, but that's just because it's polarizer, and I seem to have nicked a little bit with these millions. And he is an important character in the movie, so whatever you thought about him or the actor, you know, you gotta get him. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, oh cool. I didn't realize that's how his arm works. Does his hand come off too? His hand comes off the ball peg. I could probably change that with something. A trigger holding hand. His articulation is much easier to work with than the alien. I don't know why. I don't think they're stiff at the elbows, but they bend just fine. See what people mean by the reuse. I think this has got a reuse of Freddy Krueger pants. Yeah, everything seems to... The only thing that seems to be struggling to work are the knees and the elbows, just hinging, but don't seem to be much of a problem. The only thing that does seem to be a problem are his feet, because they don't seem to have any movement. They are ball pegs, but why is he so slippery? I don't know if it's because my hands are wet when I've just got out of the shower, or this leg's a little bit stiffer. That's God, my hands are going into cramp from gripping this thing so hard. That knee's pretty easy to move, and it's just scraped up the paint. I'm going to have to take this guy and bath his in warm water. But first of all, I just want to point out how good that sculpt is. You probably can't see, but like... Oh, focus camera. It probably won't focus. No. But that is a really good sculpt of a polarizer. Now, some people have been complaining about this guy because he don't want to stand. Very simple. Get him on the table. Pressure his feet forward a little bit. And he's very easy to stand. So that's that problem sorted. So I got two sort of non-military characters, and I got a new alien. Not bad. Definitely a set I wanted. I wonder if the forearms are... Actually, I think the forearms might be reversed. No, they don't appear to be, because well, I've got the watch on. Oh, maybe it's just me. Oh, no, they are like that. I was wondering if they were reversed, but no, they're not. So, yeah, it seems mine has real bad, shirt paint. Lines are not lining up at all, but I think it makes it a little bit unique, which is interesting. It's glossy as well under there. It's quite glossy when you pull the mid-torso up and it's very glossy. I don't know why that is. It's quite interesting. So yeah, Freddy Krueger, they seem to share the same pants. I'm not sure actually. Do they share the same pants? Let me take a look. No, Freddy seems to be they're very similar in sculpt. Very similar, but Freddy is a little bit taller. I don't know. Are they the same sculpt? I'm getting above the stand. I think they are exactly the same sculpted pants. Well, that's interesting. That's pretty interesting. Christ, he really don't want to stand, does he? That's pretty interesting. Freddy Krueger here shares the same wardrobe, pants wardrobe, as our old boy, as our boy Carter Burke here. It's just Freddy's obviously a little bit taller, I don't know why, but... Well, that's interesting. Interesting reuse of Neca to go with. I like it. So still, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Ooh, there's Burke, the sign, the new alien, and Bishop, whose leg still needs assembling. I will be doing reviews for these guys probably tomorrow, maybe tomorrow when I get a bit of a break, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.